All right, y'all. So as I mentioned, the reason we're spending so much time talking about unit conversions and dimensional analysis is about the process of train tracks, right? I need you to get really good at train tracks so that we can incorporate them into some pretty intense chemistry stuff down the road, okay? And so if you talk to friends who's taken chemistry in the past, they'll be like, oh yeah, learn your train tracks. Because we will use them in most topics this year. And so getting good at them on something simple like centimeters to inches will help you when we get into like 10-step stoichiometric processes. Okay, so learn them now. Master train tracks, master that. Start with what you're given. Cancel on the diagonal. Ask yourself what's bigger, unit conversions, what are conversion factors, all of that. Master that material now on the like kind of simple stuff so that when we get to the really complicated chemistry piece with train tracks, you're like, yeah, at least I know to start with what I was given and cancel the diagonal and use conversion factors, right? Start with that easy stuff so that we can use it on the hard stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look at something that's going to seem super ridiculous because it has literally nothing to do with chemistry other than learning how to read questions, pulling information out, and applying it to train tracks. So, word problems. When we read these things, you're going to look for conversion factors. So look for things that are equivalent. Does it say something like you work 6 days a week? Okay, well then that's 6 days in 1 week. That's an equivalence, right? Is the bodybuilder 5'2"? So height 5'2", that's an equivalence. Are there 25 tomatoes in one basket? Great, that's an equivalence. 25 tomatoes in one basket. That's what I'm talking about, looking for conversion factors. And then list it all on your paper. Like take the time and write it down. Seriously. All right, then you're going to look for a piece of information that is given in the question, but is not actually a conversion factor. So it might say something like, if I have 4 baskets, how many tomatoes could I get? So 4 baskets was given to me, but it wasn't like equal to something. That is your given. Okay, that is where you're going to start. If you work for 12 years, how much money will you have? Okay, you worked for 12 years, but we don't know what that's equivalent to. 12 years, that's our given. And so that's what I mean by looking for like something that is not related to something else, something that's not a conversion factor. Then you need to identify what you're solving for. How many tomatoes can I get? That's my unknown. How much money will I make? That's my unknown. Okay. And then just like before, you're going to start these train tracks with what you know, and then you're going to use these ridiculous conversion factors that you pull from the question itself. So let's take a look. All right, so Carter has a string that is 80 inches long. She cuts a 3-foot piece of the string to make the necklace. Each necklace uses 1 3-foot string. Not strong. How many necklaces can Carter make? So let's look for those conversion factors. So we are told that we have a string that is 80 inches long. Okay, so that's helpful. She cuts a 3-foot piece of string to make a necklace. Each necklace uses 1 string. There we go. There's an equivalence. Okay, so 1 necklace equals 3 feet. All right, and what was not a conversion factor? We had those 80 inches at the beginning. All right, and what we're solving for is the number of necklaces. Okay, so I'm going to start with my 80 inches. Train track rules, y'all. Inches on the bottom. So then I look, I've got inches, but the only conversion factor I know from the question is that a necklace is 3 feet. So we have to use some outside knowledge. We know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Boom. There it goes. So now I'm in feet. Now I'm ready to keep going with the information from the question. Put feet on the bottom, right? Diagonal, diagonal, diagonal. From the question, I know that 3 feet are used to make 1 necklace. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug this into our calculator. We'll take 80 divided by 12 divided by 3. And that gives me 2.22 repeating. So now let's do some logic, right? We got to think. The question said, how many necklaces can Carter make? Well, we've got 2.22 worth of string. So that's not 2, that's not 3. It's not enough for 3. There's just a little left over from 2. So total 2 necklaces. Right? We can't use that extra 0.22. So here we go. Here's a pretty big question. To help your family travel to Paris, you've been working at a fast food restaurant for the past 35 years. What a good Samaritan. And so what I want you guys to do, now this is tricky. Take your time, use your little noggin, and list every potential conversion factor that could come out of this question. And then go ahead and do your best. Feel free to chat with the people around you as necessary. And then submit an answer. So how many hamburgers will you have to wrap to make $1 million? Let me know.